Hey everyone, this is Michael Noreen from Out My Closet with a special guest, Jose Ramos. He's going to share some pretty touching and emotional stories. And thank you so much for being here at this moment and the willingness and vulnerability to share those stories with us. So let's get familiar with you.
Okay.
You can tell us your age and your background and a little bit about your upbringing.
Sure. I'm 36 years old, Puerto Rican male, gay. Born in Brooklyn, raised in South Jersey, close to Philadelphia. Very suburban lifestyle, so very different from the city life. So everybody behind my high school was a cow farm. So
wow.
Yeah.
So how did that make for engaging with other people like you? When did you realize that you were gay? And maybe a lot of young people look for a community to start developing people who are like them. Did you have that? And if not, what effect did that have on you?
Well, in high school, I was more closeted. I was never really comfortable with myself. So besides not even family pressures, but internal family pressures, having a grandfather was very machismo and very masculine. If you have to get married, you have to have kids. So I was never comfortable with myself of dealing with that. So I didn't really have an outlet. I had one friend that was bisexual, but that was the only thing I had. And then I was still, I actually remained a virgin until I was in college. So because of that, I was like, I might stay a virgin, not willing to have sex until I get married, so all that kind of stuff. So, but in my head, I always kind of knew.
Was it like a religious aspect or a cultural aspect, or just overall the general fear of coming out because of the surroundings?
General fear of coming out because of the overall surroundings.
Okay. So when you start realizing these things about yourself and becoming ready to embrace them, how did things change for you, like emotionally, physically, or your circumstances? Now that you're like, uh-oh. Not uh-oh, like, hey, I'm gay. Was it like that for you? Or like, gay?
No, it wasn't like that. It was, I'm gay. And I wasn't really comfortable with being gay because I felt towards that internal self of disappointing my family if I was gay. Mm-hmm. So coming out gay for me wasn't, oh my God, guys, here I am, I'm gay. It was a more, why am I gay and can I fix this in my head?
So those questions, why am I gay and can I fix this? Did you ever try, how can I fix this? People go for therapy, start speaking with a shrink. Some people start, kind of stifling the voices and using drugs. Like, what was it for you, like the realization aspect?
I feel for me, I became more, it was really more of a weird feeling of being more reclusive, of being comfortable with myself, but also trying to go out little by little. Mm-hmm. So I was still very socially awkward in myself. So I wasn't sure of me yet. So for me, even when I finally did come out, I wasn't happy with coming out. So I had to deal with some issues then.
So other issues? Like what were some of the conflicts that you were facing now? As young people have different issues growing up, during learning about themselves. What are some of the conflicts that you had to overcome?
Definitely more like for myself of dealing with having to do with family struggles inside. My family, my mother was very supportive of me, but for me I still feel like a disappointment because, not to say who doesn't want a gay son, but in my head, who wants a gay son?
I understand that.
So,
I feel a lot of young people, LGBT could identify with that. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be a disappointment to my family. How did you, change that perspective, or what thoughts, or what was the whole process for you?
Well, the whole process for me wasn't the most beautiful experience because I got into a deep depression, and I actually started to cut myself because me being gay wasn't something that I felt was the right thing. So the first time I actually cut myself was probably my freshman year in college, and I was really depressed. I finally admitted I was out. My mother was accepting of it, but for me, I still wasn't accepting of it. And I remember taking a glass of screwdriver and engraving the word "stop" into my arm. In the dead of winter, Rhode Island, and I completely blanked out there. And I went back. I had my cousin there, and I was like, I can't take this anymore. And my arm was full of blood. And after that, they sent me home to seek some help.
Okay. You said it was the first time, so there were other times after that you did the same thing?
Yes, I was still, the cutting started as more of a release thing, and then almost signs of attention. And then, because I didn't know how to deal with emotions and didn't know how to communicate or verbalize them. So for me with the cutting, it got worse and worse until I thought I was in a good relationship. It was very verbally abusive. And I actually took a sharp barber's blade and I actually engraved the words, and I actually cut my arm completely straight down with a barber's blade.
And what was going through your mind now? Did you say, I need help Was there an outlet that you went to? Was there like a process for you?
At that point, I did need help. My mother was there for me immediately because my mother was always the most supportive person for me. And the minute that happened, she drove from Jersey quick to my side, and I went into therapy and started seeking the proper help that I needed to be happy with myself and learn that being gay isn't a bad thing, and being happy in yourself there's better things in life, and life has something to go for.
So with that, I'm so glad that you reached that destination, because a lot of people right now who probably may be seeing this is in that dark area, and there's a possible light, but they're so afraid to open their eyes and look for it, and they remain in that dark area. And what was like therapy like for you? Were you able to look at some underlying issues? Did you like remedy some things from your family?
I feel when it came with dealing with therapy, and the one thing if you engage in therapy, because it's not for everybody, but embrace that person as if there's someone you can completely talk to. Like they have no judgment, no whatsoever, and they really are there to help you. So take that advice from that person and you can marinate it and learn the tools that they can really be able to help you to actually seek that help. Because if you go into therapy and not as a joke, it's not going to work. You have to really make it work for you.
Got it. Jose now, looking back at Jose the first time that he was about to cut himself, what would you tell him?
Don't do it. There's so much more, and life is a beautiful thing. From all the ups and downs that you're experiencing in life, there's more there for you. Like, you can see the world, visit things, do everything that you possibly want to do it. Don't do what I did.
So you're saying that your life has gotten much better, much progressive. And what did it take? What distinction or what characteristic or what quality has helped you sustain livelihood and not go back to hurting yourself again?
I feel like the biggest thing is finding love in yourself. And I think that's the biggest key that a lot of people don't. You may not have other people outside love you, but if you love yourself inside, that's a big thing. Because once you start building that love for yourself, no matter how people may try to knock you down and say you're not worth it and you shouldn't be this way and you should change yourself, no, you are, because you feel that love inside yourself and you know you're better than that.
Mm-hmm. And how does one love himself? Like we hear it, love yourself, love yourself. But is there like a to-do? This is how? Like, is there love yourself for dummies? Like, how does it work?
I feel like when it comes to love yourself, everybody has their own special things. So just like learning how to pamper yourself. If you're having a really stressed out day and you need to release, and your thing is going to the park and getting on a swing, get on that swing. If you want to go on a trip, and just learn to pamper yourself. Go shopping, buy those shoes, do those different things, write, paint, any kind of things that makes you feel good about yourself. So,
excellent. Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
That story is very impactful. So if you are someone you know who may be currently hurting yourself, we do advise you that you speak to someone and obtain a certain level of care that you do need. And stay strong and hold on. And this is just one example of the many stories of resilience that are in our community today. So thank you, Jose, so much for sharing. All right, bye guys.